Okay, we'll wait just another couple minutes, and we have Emily again this morning. Hey Emily, are you there? Can we hear you? Or can you hear us?
Can you hear me okay?
There we go. There she is. Okay, great. Yes. Okay, super. Okay, so we're going to do kind of a hybrid of a webinar this morning to make sure that how do I say that the internet doesn't have a problem. So what Emily has done is she's going to be on this, she's on the webinar right now, but we're going to play a video that she created just ahead of time to make sure that if the internet goes in and out or anything like that, it's really clear, okay? And then she's going to be able to take questions at the end. Is that okay? Yeah, good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and I'll press play on this, and we'll get going here. Here we go. Ready, Emily?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Hello everyone. In this session I'm going to walk you through buying a domain, installing WordPress, and picking a theme for your own WordPress website and making it look nice easily.
Sorry.
The first step is to have a domain. So let's do that here. I'm in hostgator.com. I'm going to pick a domain. It's terrible listening to my own voice. Okay, now that I own the domain, now I can go through setting it up and making sure that the domain is hosted. So in HostGators, I just click on name servers and then I can point the domain to my existing hosting account. If you don't have a hosting set up, you can follow the process through wherever you choose to host. So that could be through GoDaddy, HostGator, Namecheap, any of those offer hosting. So then once that's done, I click on Save. The next thing I need to do is go to my hosting panel. So here I am in the hosting dashboard, and it looks a lot like what a cPanel would look like, which basically is how you manage your hosting and your domains and your email addresses all through your host. So in my hosting account, I have one domain that is being hosted, and all of my other domains are add-on domains. And so when I do that, I'm not needing to get hosting for every individual domain with its own charge. I just pay for one hosting account and then have all the other domains underneath it. So if I want to host a new website, then I need to add it as an add-on domain. And I do that in HostGator by clicking on domains and then clicking on add-on domains. So once there, all I have to do is fill in these couple fields. So the new domain name is emilyrule.com. It's going to fill all this information in for me, and then I just need to type in my password that I'll create, and then click on Add Domain. So once that's done, I can go back to the other HostGator panel that you saw right here, and I can go back to the hosting dashboard and then use HostGator's one-step click WordPress install. So once in here, this allows me to install WordPress really easily, and any host provides this service. You just have to find where they have it. It's usually pretty obvious since WordPress is probably the most popular. So I'm just following the process here. I'm going to click on Install WordPress, and then I pick the domain that I want to install WordPress on. And then this / install path here. So if you wanted your domain or maybe you have an existing domain in a website, but you want to add a blog, for example, you might type blog here. But I'm going to build a complete website just on emilyrule.com, so I'm going to leave this blank. Then I'm going to put in the admin email and the blog title, which all of this down here can be edited once you've installed WordPress. So up here you can see that the install is running, and then once this is done, I will be able to log into this new site, which wasn't there before. Then it's live, and then I can start picking a WordPress theme. Okay, so you can see that it's finished. Your install is complete. Let's view those credentials. So I can see here is my information. So here I am at the new site. You can see that there's not much to it here, but we are going to go walk through the process of making this look good really quickly. So I need to log in at /wp-admin, which is pretty standard across any WordPress site, and then I put in my login details. And then this is the back end of WordPress, where everything you're going to create or edit will come from this back end right here. So now I need to find a WordPress theme that is easy for me to install, easy for me to customize, and hopefully has some dummy content so that when I install it the first time, it looks nice and I just need to swap out my own information. So personally, I like to use themeforest.net. So what you want to look for is WordPress themes that have a lot of good ratings, a lot of installs, and in this example, I'm going to show you or find one that has dummy content, which means you install the theme and put in what they've created already in the demo, and then you can use that as a way to easily edit the site and make it look good, just like the demo looks good. So in this example, I'm going to use a one-page WordPress theme, which would be good for just a personal blog, just to have up information about myself in this example. I could see that there have been 150 sales and about 4.5 stars. Okay, and it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and I've already downloaded it. So let's go and upload it to the site. So let's first look at that file and see what it looks like so you know what to install. So when you download something from ThemeForest, they give you all of the possible files. So what you need to do is unzip the file that they give you so that you can see the individual files. Because when you upload to WordPress, you only want the one file with just the WordPress data, and it needs to be in a zip file. So all this other stuff you don't want to install. And actually, if you tried to install this main zip file, it wouldn't work. So you need to unzip that and then go in and find the actual zip file for that theme. Okay, so there it is. I've unzipped it, and now I can go to Appearance and then Themes, and I can add a new theme. Choose that file and then Install Now. And then the last step would be to activate that theme. Okay, so you can see that this installed, and it looks like the theme requires the following plugins, and so easily I can install those plugins.
Jim, is it possible to slow down a bit?
It's a video.
Oh, there you
So if you have questions, we'll just take those right when we're finished, okay? Sorry about that.
And then I want to activate them. Okay, so now that's done, I want to install the dummy content, but first I'm going to show you what my site looks like now by just going to the domain. Okay, so to install the dummy content, the theme creator gave you this dummy data, and so you need to install this file right here. It's a .xml file. So to do that, you need to go to Tools on the left and then click on Import. Okay, so once in the Tools section, at the very bottom of the list, you can see the WordPress tool, and this needs to install first, and then it will walk you through the process of installing that file. Okay, so that's done. That was very quick, and then just click on Activate Plugin and Run Importer. Okay, here, then I just choose the file that the theme gave me, and then Upload File and Import. So I get to choose here who is going to be the author of the pages that were created. I'm just going to do admin. And I also want to download and import file attachments to make sure any images come through as well. Okay, so it looks like it's all set to go. Now let's look at what the theme looks like. We might need to make some adjustments still. Okay, so it's not quite finished yet, but you can see that the dummy content has been put into the website. So now let's go finish it off. Okay, so most likely what we need to do in order to get this looking right is we need to set what the home page is for this site. So you go to Settings, and then Reading, and then you need to click on Static Page, and then select the front page as the home page for the site. And then in this theme, blog will be the posts page. Okay, so then once that's done, I can click on Save Changes. And the settings are saved, and now I need to go to the menu and update the menu. Okay, and then here I need to manage the location of the menu. And then click on Save. So you're probably wondering how I magically knew all this information. So the great thing about a lot of these themes is that they come with theme documentation. So inside the theme file, and I'll show you where I found it, there's a help file, and then I clicked on this index.html, which takes me to basically the directions on how to use this theme. And so in this instance, I went to importing demo data, and it walked me through the steps there. Some themes are better than others with instructions, but in the theme forest, you can see who provides instructions and who doesn't. Okay, so I saved that. Now let's go look and see what the website looks like. Okay, so here is the site that's been created. It has all the dummy content. It looks like a nice looking site, and we can change all of these things as well. I'm going to show you how to plug in your own information. So let's say I wanted to update some of these sections. Well, these sections are actually individual pages inside of the theme. So let's go look at that now. So in order to do that, you go to your pages, and then you can adjust, and then you can edit all of these sections. So here you can see this dummy language right here, and if I were to look at the site, you would see that same thing on the website, which is this section right here. So what we want to do is just update that. Oh, subheading text, I can just see how it's just kind of laid out. Based on this page, I can see how it's relating to the live version. So I would just want to update those settings. Okay, so first, why don't we edit this section up here? Okay, so I just updated that content. I'm clicking save, and let's go look at the live site and see how that changed based on what I wrote. Okay, you can see that it updated right there. It looks good. So let's just go through and change all of the other settings as well. Okay, so I've put in my details here, and there are a lot of things in here that I may not want to share publicly. Obviously, you would just put in what you are wanting to share. You don't have to put in your phone number or your email address, and then the site would just update whatever you put in there or don't put in there. Okay, so then the next thing is I can upload my personal photos, and it's telling me that the dimensions have to be 450 by 450 pixels wide. So let's go find an image that will work in that spot. There, I've uploaded those, and I'm going to delete those other ones that I don't want. Okay, so I've made those edits. I'm going to click update, and then let's see how that affects our page. Okay, so you can see that it was really easy to update, and now I can go through the rest of these sections and update them as well. But what happens if you don't want one of these in here? For example, maybe education isn't very relevant in this case. So what I'd want to do is all you have to do is go to your menus and then delete it from the menu. So here you can see education and remove. And so now when I go back to the site, education will no longer be on that page. All right, so now it's gone. Okay, so you can see how that was pretty easy to update, and I can go through these other sections and update them as well to make them relevant to my business and who I am and what I'm trying to promote. So why don't I show you some other things that you can do on any WordPress site. Okay, so here I am in the blog section of the WordPress site that I just created, and you can see there are categories that were already made based on the dummy content I filled in. But let's say I want to put in like the Facebook integration face pile so people can like my page really easily. So let's go and do that. So what I want to do is include the face pile. All right, so here is the settings that I need to change. I need to make this a different fan page. And I want to link this to my business. Okay, so here you can see just a preview of what that looks like. I can change the width and also the height max. Here are some other settings. I can show friends' faces or not show friends' faces. I can hide the cover photo or keep the cover photo. It's just kind of based on however you want to have that appear. And then I'm going to click on Get Code. Okay, so once in here, I just need to take these two codes and plug them into my site. So I'm going to show you where to go do that. So if I want it on the sidebar, it's called a widget. So I will need to go to Appearance and then Widgets. So you can see there's already a couple here based on the dummy content, and I'm going to show you what that looks like on the live site. So you can see there's the search bar, recent posts, recent comments, archives, categories, and the metadata. All right, so let's just go back to here and we can change any one of these. If I want to paste in the Facebook information, I need to use just a text box, which will take that HTML and plug it in. Okay, so I paste that first section. And then I go in and I copy this second section and I paste it in, and then I click Save. Okay, so let's go see what that looks like. All right, so you can see I now have this on the sidebar of this post, and I can easily move that around by just picking up and dragging it to wherever I want that to sit. Okay, so why don't we go and pick out some other plugins to install on your theme? So there are a couple necessary plugins. For example, you need this Akismet plugin. You get a Akismet key, and it keeps your website from being spammed and posted on by robots on your comment section. And so this will keep that from happening, and it blocks it. So that's one. It's already installed when you install WordPress, but you have to go get yourself a key, and it's free, and you just paste it in there, and then it's activated. So that's one thing you must do. So if you want to add new plugins, all you have to do is click Add New, and you can search the database of plugins. So let's go and find that social media plugin called Shareaholic. Okay, so it's really easy. Just click on Install Now, and then activate the plugin. Okay, so then next you have to do the settings for that plugin. So up here it's telling me what to do. Okay, so here are the settings for Shareaholic. Here you can see that on a post I can have the related content and the links below the content. I can also have it customized and go above the content. Here's the share buttons. You can pick where you want them to go, and then you just customize those settings to make sure it has your links and whatnot. Okay, so here's the themes. There is the rounded theme, the card, rotated. You just kind of have to pick what you want that to look like. Okay, so that was the related and promo content, so underneath all the articles. So that was the settings for related and promo content. The benefit of that is that Shareaholic will put my other articles at the bottom of all of my other posts, and that way people will stay on the website longer. So then next is the share buttons. So let's customize that. Okay, so there's lots of themes I can pick from, and I can add to it. Like there's LinkedIn I'd want to add. And you can have a counter on the top. So if you want people to know how many times it's been shared, you can have it on the side. Lots of different settings. You can have it where do you want it aligned in the center of the post, and the left on the right, up and down. It's really based on your preference. There you go. So those are all the settings. Okay, so why don't we go and see what that looks like on the live site. Okay, so let's go and see what that looks like. Here's the blog post, and you can see at the bottom of the post, based on my settings, it has these icons where I can share it. If I click on Facebook, it's automatically going to share this article on Facebook for me. This makes it really easy for visitors to your website to share content on your site, which helps drive more traffic back to your site. Another plugin you may want to include is the Aweber plugin, so you can have a form on your page. And there are a couple ways to do that. You could use the plugin by Aweber to put that into your site. You can also just go directly to aweber.com or any other autoresponder company you're using and take the web form code that you create when you're logged in. But in this example, I'm just going to show you how to use that Aweber web form plugin to put it on your site. So initially I installed the Aweber widget to give you an example. I'm sure Constant Contact and GetResponse have their own versions. I couldn't get it to work. So the other way to do that is just to have a text box, just like you did for Facebook, drag it in, and then in here you can put in the form code that you get from your autoresponder. So whether it's Aweber or any of the other ones, you can just paste it in that section. So I'll show you how to do that right now. Okay, so here I am inside of Aweber where I can create a sign-up form, and I know that in the website that the form width can't be very long, so I'm going to make that more narrow, and then I'm just going to change some settings so that it looks okay. Okay, so this is just a really simple form I'm creating. I'm going to save my form and then go on to the next step. So here I'm going to name where this form sits. So when I can look at the stats back in Aweber, I can see how many times this form has been displayed and how many times it's been submitted. I can create a custom thank you page, or I can have it stay on the current page. And then I can also have the thank you page open up in a new window. So if I had the basic version where I'm not creating my own thank you page, then I would want to make sure that the thank you page opens in a new window so people aren't taken away from the website. If I were to create my own custom page where it would be emilyrule.com/thank you, perhaps, then people would be staying on the website anyway, and I don't have to worry about losing them. In this example, I am just going to stick to basic version and keep it open in a new window. And then I'm going to save these settings and go to step 3. So step 3 is where you install the form. So there's a JavaScript snippet, and what you can do is use this code, and then if you were to go back in and change your design, it will automatically update your website. So that's the benefit of the JavaScript snippet. If you use raw HTML, this has all the design work. So if you were to make any changes in either the design or the settings, you would have to go back in here and select this long code and repaste it into your site and save. And choosing between these two really just depends on your platform. Some software platforms don't allow JavaScript and it doesn't work, so you might have to use the HTML version. So I'm taking that code and I'm just going to paste it here and click Save. All right, so let's see what that looks like. Okay, so here I am on one of the posts. I can see that there is the form code right there. Incredibly ugly at the moment. Taking more time, I would make sure that the branding fits. I'd go back and make this wider inside of WordPress, and I would have a call to action at the top. But you can see how easy it was just to go from WordPress, take the code from Aweber, plop it into the widget section in WordPress, and then there you have an opt-in form on the side of your website. So next I want to show you how to have pages redirect to another page. So we talked a little bit about this in the past. So how do you take a long affiliate link and shorten it using your own URL? And one that I've used many times in the past is called the quick redirect. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to click Install Now, activate the plugin, and then what I do in order to have a page redirect is I go to one of my pages, for example. You can also do it in a post, and you'll see the settings in there as you're creating a new page. So here I might have this called affiliate link to the webinar. And what I would do is, here's the settings for the redirect, make the redirect active. I can have the redirect link open in a new window. This would be very important because you don't want to get people off your website. And then also you want to click on the add the no follow to the redirect link. This is so you're not giving away any of your SEO juice to the affiliate link. So that's very important also. And then leave this one alone. This would be masking the URL and you want to just keep it the same. Okay, so here you would do your redirect link. Okay, and then you would click save. And now this URL here will redirect to that affiliate link. All right, so I used my URL on the emilyrule.com/affiliate link to webinar. And it redirects to that affiliate link. So that's really good for branding if you're sharing links on social media. It also makes it so it's not messy looking when you're sharing links as well. But that's very easy to set up, and that was the quick redirect. Another plugin you'll want to install is an SEO plugin. The most popular SEO plugin is called the All-in-One SEO. Okay, and here it is right here. Click on Install Now. Activate the plugin. So how you want to use this is you want to go to your pages and go to your posts and edit them so that you can have the best SEO possibility on all of your pages. So you go to one of your blog posts or one of your pages and go through the setting for the all-in-one SEO pack. So here on each individual page, you can give it its own title and its own description, keywords, and all these other settings which increase the SEO availability on this page. Instead of having a one blanket setting for your entire site, you can create this, which would be much better for SEO purposes and all of your posts.
Emily. Hello, hello.
Hello, sorry, I had myself on mute.
Okay, that was a pretty fast video, and I know we have a lot of questions, right? Yeah.
So before you start asking questions, I must admit that process of buying a domain, setting up hosting, installing WordPress, and installing the theme and making it look good, I took out the loading times, and it probably took about an hour and a half. Just to be fair, it's not a 10-minute process.
You make it look so easy.
I know. Well, I took out the parts where I'm like, oh crap, why is this happening and going so slow?
Okay, so
You weren't privy to that.
yeah, right. Okay, so I'm sure there are some questions. Maybe would it be good to share your screen in this dashboard so that maybe we can go through some of the things a little more specifically?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so aside from answering questions, I'm also going to share some of the tools that we use on a daily basis in our business, and some things just that might help you out too to make things easier and whatnot. So.
Okay, I'm going to make you presenter, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
This would be. It will be once it's up and running. I'll get rid of this. And let me move this over. Okay, we can see your screen.
Okay, let me just log into the back end. All right, so let's get started with questions.
Questions?
First question was Emily in the middle of something then and then it muted out? Maybe you think she should finish that. presentation.
the video ended at kind of a weird spot.
Okay, let me just go back to the end of the video and see the weirdness.
Finish that. Because maybe it doesn't important stuff.
Maybe there's something missing at the end of that video, or it was chopped off. Because it looked like it's like boom, we lost the internet kind of thing, but I know we didn't.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Just mute it out and I think on this.
Okay, so it ended with the SEO plugin, correct?
Yes, it did. Abruptly.
So at that point, I'm like, what else do I add as far as plugins? I really did cover the most important plugins for any given site. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll be on live afterwards, so I'll stop here.
Okay, so it stopped pretty quick. So there wasn't anything more about the SEO plugin.
Nope, that was it.
Okay,
No.
great.
Sorry for ending that weird.
Okay, so any other questions? In the back.
When I go to my C panel, there's WordPress in my C panel, which is different from WordPress when I go to WordPress. It's very confusing, and if I work in WordPress in my C panel, well, it's just like two different domains.
Okay, so you're having trouble because there's WordPress in two different places. One is on the cPanel and one is actually in the domain, right?
Yes.
Yes?
Well, I don't know where it is, but it just has me confused.
Okay, so there's some confusion between the different pieces of WordPress, one part being in cPanel and the other part being on the domain. Can you explain that a little bit?
Let's dig into that because it doesn't make sense completely. Okay, so who is your hosting provider?
Who's your host?
When you go to GoDaddy, you go into your C panel in GoDaddy, you see that there's WordPress set up. If you start fiddling around with that WordPress and click on that, you'll find, lo and behold, it's not the real WordPress.
Right, so it's in GoDaddy.
Okay. I'm not sure this account has any hosting, but let's just see what we can see. And let me try a different. Alternatively, if you want to Skype me your login info, I can do it that way that way also. So really, the WordPress though, because it's going to display on a live site, it's going to be provided by the host, which is why I'm confused by why you say it's part of the domain aspect, because you would need the hosting in order to have the WordPress site. Now, there is something called WordPress.org, which is free from WordPress. I mean, it's like a WordPress hosted site. So instead of EmilyRule.com, I might have EmilyRule.wordpress.org. So that's an option with WordPress, but that would be the URL. You wouldn't have it on your own site. Is that what you're talking about?
GoDaddy had their own version of WordPress, so when you go in there, you think you're working on WordPress, but you're not. You're working on GoDaddy's version of WordPress. So when you go into the WordPress admin, you come to a different site. So, anyway, it's got me confused.
Jim, it might be worth warning people not to use GoDaddy hosting, it's terrible.
Well, I don't like to say anything negative about different hosting companies because they're one of the largest on the planet. And there are some benefits to having GoDaddy, and there are some cons to having GoDaddy. But every host has their own way of doing it, and GoDaddy seems to think that their way is the best for their customers from support. But it is a bit confusing because you have these things in different places, and they're not real clear as far as where this stuff is and what you're doing. But I'll tell you this about GoDaddy: call them. 24 hours, 7-day-a-week support. Give them a call, get it right in there, and they'll walk you right through it. But,
From my perspective, which handles a lot of the technical stuff, I would not pick GoDaddy. We used to go with GoDaddy, and then there's two cons. First, they have their own GoDaddy version of a cPanel, so there are some things that aren't as easily customized or editable that you could do with other hosting providers that have a cPanel, which is more the norm, compared to GoDaddy, which has their own version. So it's just not the same as a normal cPanel. The other thing is they're very, and this is a pro and a con again. They hate spam. So for example, we had our launch 2 years ago for Buzz tabs, which was called 2-minute FB pages originally. And we launched this at a large seminar, and so many people were promoting it that GoDaddy just saw this influx of traffic, and they took the domain away. So all of a sudden, our software was gone, everybody who had purchased couldn't access anything, and there was no way to fix it. I called them, they said, there's nothing we can do, we're sorry, you're screwed. I mean, that's what happened. So GoDaddy, so I Googled this problem, and apparently a lot of other people have this same experience. So I won't ever buy another domain again for the risk of it being taken away by GoDaddy.
yes.
Which is why I went to HostGator.
I would like to see how she got the opt-in form up onto the right-hand side.
Can you show how you got the opt-in form up on the right-hand side of that theme?
Sure, so this is the back end of WordPress, and there are all of these things on the left. So anything on the left generally all appear in appearance, and then go to widgets. So widgets is basically that left-hand side. They can also handle the footer. In this case, this theme only has the left hand. So anytime I wanted to drag something in, for example, maybe I wanted a list of all the pages on the right-hand side, so I would drag in the pages. In this case, you can see I have the search bar, I have this text box which accepts HTML and JavaScript. Oops. And this is actually the script I got from Aweber, and I pasted it in here and I clicked save. So all I did was, here's a list of things I could drag and drop inside. I just took the text option, I dragged it in, and I pasted the code.
Thank you for that. One more
Does that
question.
answer your question?
Yes,
Yep.
it does. Thank
Yep.
you.
Next.
One more question. What was the thing that you took across? Was it called face pile or?
What was it called that you took across? Was it called FacePile?
Right, so inside of Facebook developers has a lot of plugins that you can use, and one of them, here I'll just go there. Carry on. Thank you. Okay, so Facebook has these plugins, and what they call the list of, or the icons of everybody's pictures of who you're friends with. So if you are a fan of the business formulas, you will see your friends' faces who are also fans of business formulas, and that's called the face pile. And they may, now I just see show friends' faces, so maybe they've changed it, but that's what this is called. That's what I'm referring to. Does that make sense?
Yes. So you had actually managed to get that running on the right side of the blog.
You're actually able to get that to run on the right side of the blog?
Yeah, so I used, I was here. Okay, so I'm going to the same spot. So let's go back to Facebook. And I typed in the URL of the fan page. I can set the pixels, but I also see that it will automatically adjust to the container width, which is in Facebook or in the website. I selected show front spaces. If I take it off, you can see it's removed. I put it back on. It's just an option. Another option is I can hide the page post, so it can just be this little thing, or I can show the page post. If I show the page post, it's going to show the most recent posts made by that fan page. So I can, it's a lot of choices here. So I can also hide that top cover photo and instead have just the fan page name, or I can put it back in. Okay?
Great. Yes.
So then,
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
that's okay. So then I go to get code, and I had to make an app that refers to this fan page or this website, and so I created one really quickly. That's pretty easy. And then I copied this code, and I pasted these two into WordPress right here. I just paste. So here's the first one, and here's the second one. That
Okay.
makes sense? And then I click save, and that's what makes it go there on the side.
Yep.
Yeah, what's the name of Team Forest is using? Is that a free theme, or is that the one under our resource section? There's one called Team Forest.
Okay, so what's the name of the theme forest theme you're using?
So this theme is called Personal One by
And
High Themes.
is it free?
I know I paid for it.
Okay. Once you buy it one time, can you use it again, or is it just for one domain?
Developing websites for pay. Every time you install it on a client's website, if that's how you're, operate your business, you'd have to pay for it each time. So
Okay.
it's one license per paid client.
Okay.
So for example, I actually bought this theme a year ago, and I went down to in my Theme Forest account, and I saw the themes I purchased, and I selected this one because I knew that the install worked flawlessly, and I knew that it would not give me any hiccups. So that's why I picked this one,
Got it. Yep.
and I just downloaded it.
Remember we had a bit of an overview, I think, from of Thrive? Then you-
Yes. Thrive.
Yeah, so I went and bought Thrive.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened in my experience was you got the choice to buy Thrive one time, or it was like $57 or $97 to install it as many times as you liked. And then when I went to use it, because I've never done this before, so this is great information for me, thank you. I realized that what I actually bought was like a bunch of widgets, a bunch of tools. I hadn't bought a theme, so on top of the Thrive tools, you then have to buy a skin, so to make it look, the look and feel, and then you buy the tools as well. So I've got all the tools, the plugins, but there are free themes in WordPress as well.
Right. They're free themes.
A free theme is very simple. Obviously, I'm very familiar with this theme, and it's quite complicated.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy a free theme, and then if you did want to use Thrive, which is particularly for opt-in pages, particularly for sales pages, you'd probably find that you could use the compatibility of the Thrive plugins with a very simple theme to
Yep.
create pages that you wouldn't have to know too much at all.
It would probably be a little bit easier with Thrive, especially when you're getting started.
Well, considering that you could just say, all I want is an opt-in box
Yep.
and a results box
Got it.
and a giveaway.
Got it.
If you just want those three things, then, I mean, I haven't even done it yet. I don't know how hard it is. But
Right.
I'm thinking that those plugins, they'll probably be quite good, and then a skin, just incredibly simple skin.
Yes.
You might find that that would work well too.
Yep. Emily, have you ever used Thrive?
I know it's owned by the same company of Theme Forest. I'm just on their website here, so it's just I feel like I've tried everything because the name sounds so familiar. So I'm looking at just their licensing, And I do see if I go down to Thrive Themes, it looks very nicely designed. I'm not sure about I heard her say plugins, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so
I do know WordPress does have free themes.
so
Like these 2015, 2014, 2013, those are free, you can use and modify.
so
I just like, what I like about themes that I can buy with dummy content is that it's basically install, two-step install, so one time for the theme, one time for the dummy content. And then I just, replace what's there. So I never have to futz around with a theme in order to get it work. Now, if I were to design a theme for a customer, I would have my designer professionally customize a completely new site. So I wouldn't for a customer buy one of these themes. I'd, make something of my own.
So the information that I'm trying to convey, what I actually bought when you went to Thrive Themes, I bought the content builder. So the link that we were given was direct to the content builder. So that's actually the thing that I bought. So it's the content or the widgets, I think. And then I had to consider whether to buy a theme on top. But that's the bit that we actually got given as the priority there. So sorry, I didn't know what to call it.
I guess I would have to look. I'm curious though. Any other questions?
Questions? I got it over here.
Emily went to Facebook and there was the blue line with all the instructions across the top.
Uh-huh.
Where do you find it on Facebook, please, Emily?
Emily, did you hear that question?
Yeah, so where did I find the developer section?
Yes.
Okay, so here. So the short link is developers.facebook.com,
Okay.
but I find that when I go there, there's so many options. What I've now just defaulted to doing is typing into Google Facebook plugins, which takes me directly to where I want to go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
It's easier.
Emily, just wondering about, I don't know if you're familiar with Welcome Mat, which is done by Sumo Me. I've been getting some information from them, and they say their most successful converting pages use this Welcome Mat plugin. So I don't know, just wanted to see before I do anything with it whether you've heard of it or know anything about it.
You know anything about that?
I have it. So it's a plugin.
It's
Welcome back.
It's called Welcome Mat. So it basically just turns your website into one clear call to action, making it so they've done a lot of
Okay.
testing. Yeah.
So instead of a website with menu and everything, it's just one page without
Yeah.
a menu, just like okay, gotcha. So like an opt-in page without anything distracting.
Yeah. You've got a menu icon at the top left which you can click to bring down the menu, but apart from that, there's nothing else on there other than a sign up and a nice picture behind it, and it looks really well.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool because if you have if your focus is to get people to opt in, you would want that to be the single focus on that page. So something like that plugin which would eliminate everything else in the website would be a really great tool to use for any giveaways or anything that you're trying to promote, especially from like ads. If you were to run an ad and you want people to download your ebook, you would want to send them to a page with nothing else. You wouldn't want, if you're, for example, if your goal on a Facebook ad is to get them to opt in, you send them to your home page, or maybe an internal page which has like an opt-in form on the right-hand side, you will lose so much lead gen from that because there's so much to look at, and a visitor on your website is not going to know what to look at. So something like that is a great tool to use because you can focus that page on that one goal.
Right. Yeah. That's what I thought looking at them, and one of the examples they give is Uber use it. So obviously.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Andrew. Let's try to get the microphone back there, sorry.
I was just going say that I'm happy to go one-on-one with anybody after this if they need any questions. So, because I do web design, so and I use this all the time. So.
Excellent. Thank you,
And
Andrew.
the other thing, I don't know if we've covered it, but I think it was only about 4 weeks ago. You won't get listed in Google if you don't have a responsive theme.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we've covered that yet, but yeah, just if you're getting themes, make sure it's responsive.
Yep.
It's a responsive theme. So are we covering that?
You want to cover responsive themes, Emily?
Sure. So basically, responsive means that the website is going to determine how large your screen size is, and then display the content on the site in a way that fits into your website. So, for example, if you were to go to emilyrule.com on your phone, you will have a mobile responsive view compared to if you go to that website on your computer. It's going to look different. So that's just responsive means you're going to get a different view based on where you're viewing the website.
Excellent. All right, any other questions? So we're all going to do WordPress and just get it really rocking? Emily makes it look very, very easy. Believe it, I mean, really, she does. But you know, it is not something that you can just go right in there first time and just go for it, because there's a lot to it. And the video was designed to, in a short amount of time, give you an overview. But this isn't for everybody, obviously. But most of us have to use WordPress for our websites anyway. Emily, anything else to add?
Not regarding WordPress, but I would like to sum up with some of the tools that we use. If that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, let me just go and find where I have everything open quick. All right, so while we're on the theme of website building, I want to talk a little bit about Fusion HQ. So basically everything that we design for our business is inside the Fusion HQ platform. And there are pros and cons. For example, WordPress is, you buy the theme for your website and your domain and your hosting, and that's pretty much all you're paying in regards to that standalone website. And that's it. It's pretty much free for the most part, over the long run. What it doesn't have is an autoresponder, affiliate managing. Sales funnels are not as easy to move around. You need another widget or another plugin to handle products. So the benefit of using something like Fusion HQ is that you can really set up everything that you could possibly need online in one place without having to log in anywhere else. And so this, for example, is Aldwin's project. She has her products, her sales funnel. She has 2 mailing lists, two separate automated email funnels, and also an affiliate campaign. Now her same project could have multiple products, multiple sales funnels, a membership site, and all this would be managed inside of Fusion HQ. If I were to add a component, you can see it's really easy to add the membership levels, affiliate campaigns, email funnels, automated emails, commissions, and upload media like PDFs and videos. You can set up coupons, and then also add team members to the project. So the benefit of something like Fusion HQ is that it's an all-in-one thing. You're not having to go buy Aweber and go buy like Affiliate Pro, which is a WordPress plugin, or any type of WooCommerce thing that would handle products or anything. It's all kind of managed in one place. The con is that it's a monthly payment. You stop paying, your access to your projects go away. But on the pro side, if you are operating a business and making an income from it, you'll have no problem paying that, and it's worth it. So this is by far the most important tool we use, compared to something like Lead Pages, which does something similar. And there's maybe another one out there that's kind of similar, but they don't have this all-in-one product like Fusion HQ does in regards to lists. I mean, you could, with these two parts right here, you wouldn't need Aweber. You wouldn't need Wishlist. This WordPress could handle that. I mean, it's just an all-in-one program. So that's one of the most important tools we use in our business. Okay, so next I want to show you, it's something called Marketing Graphics Toolkit. So when I purchased it, I think it was just $97 one time. Now I see it's $9 a month or $10 a month. But the benefit of this is that it gives this, whoever owns this company, they have an enormous catalog of graphics that you can use, and they often come with the PSD files. So for example, if I wanted, here's the 240 web icons, I can download them and use them. Here's some flyers. If I wanted to print anything, some badges, infographics that have the PSD files that you could take pieces of the infographic and use it in different ways. They've actually had some really great infographics that I ended up using as a template for a website. It's just a really neat thing to use. We have a team of graphic designers, and they have the login information for this, so they go in here and they pluck things from here as well. So this is definitely something that we've really enjoyed using. And it's just pages and pages of graphics that have been designed, and you can use them for yourself or use them for someone else, and it's just been really handy.
Would those be considered royalty free?
Yeah, so you don't have to give any credit to the person who designed them. You just download them and use them as you like.
The website again is named marketinggraphics.com?
Toolkit, no.
Marketing Graphics Toolkit.
Toolkit.com.
Marketinggraphicstoolkit.com.
There's a link if you want to link through our affiliate link in the membership site. Under resources, there's a link to it.
Okay.
But yeah, this has been really great and kind of fun to browse through as well. All right, so another thing that we've used is Video Maker FX. So depending on where you are in your internet marketing journey, the tool like this might be very handy. So for example, and I can open it for you. I have it on my desktop here. Basically, it makes those really fun kinetic videos that you see, and you can make them yourself. Let's see. Okay, so what you do is you pull in a slide, and the software panel has these pre-made characters. Just so you see how that's all moving on its own. That's totally pre-made. I didn't have to do any of that. So if you see on the right-hand side, there's the word hi. This is Matt Henry. And so if I were to change this, so now it says, hi, I'm Jim Graham. Now I have noticed that if you go to Fiverr, a lot of the people in Fiverr use this software. The pros are, it's pretty easy to use. If you have something simple you want to make, you can make it pretty quickly. There's lots and lots of different templates that you can use and animations that just kind of slide in. They even have total video sequences that you just kind of plug in your info, and if it works for your niche, then you have your whole thing designed there, and you don't have to do much other than just change the text a little bit. The con is that it's, as far as I know, it's not all that easy to lengthen the speed of these slides. So if you can't read something fast enough, then it's harder to slow it down. So that's a con. And I noticed that when people in Fiverr have used this software, I say, well, this slide goes too fast, you need to slow it down. They have a hard time doing that as well. The more experienced designers, and we have a video designer, he uses, it's an Adobe product. I can't think of the name. So like Photoshop is Adobe, Dreamweaver, there's the video version of it. The name is
After Effects.
After Effects, thank you. Okay, so that's just another tool. I don't remember how much it was. It was one-time payment, and then if you wanted the membership to receive the additional graphics and animations on a monthly basis, then you would pay monthly, and you can download the new animations and everything that they make. So that's been kind of fun to use. I must say that after I had it for a month or two, I didn't use it anymore, and I just went and paid someone. But if you're more of a do-it-yourselfer and not a delegator, this is a really cool tool, and it's fun to play around with too. Okay, so another tool that we use a lot are the jot forms. So the neat thing about jot forms is that there are a lot of, it makes questionnaires or customer fill out forms really easy to create with images and videos. And if you filled out the form for the Global Traffic Seminar, then you used a jot form. Same with if you'd ever filled out a web design form, we use jot form. And the benefit of this for our company is that when someone fills out a form, then I can have the form answers sent to me, sent to Jim, Allison, and our design team, and then from that, the delegation is automated. So, for example, the project manager for the Facebook pages, she receives the Facebook design jot form request, and she takes over. I get a copy just for my own reference, but I'm not having to forward anything to my project manager and say, oh, we have a new Facebook fan page request, which is kind of a waste of time. In this way, it automates a lot of that business. So then another one, I'll do that one last, is MeetMe. So meetme.so is what we use to do our scheduling, and we looked around for a lot of different online calendars, and what was very important for us is that it had time zone support. So when someone in Sydney looks at our online calendar, they're seeing the calendar in their time zone instead of confusing them with having to calculate the time zone for somewhere in the US. So if it's displaying a US time zone, then that would be confusing, and it would end up being very difficult for people to book meetings. While this handles that time zone support, we can restrict how many calls there are in a day, we can determine the times of day people can book meetings. There are also different types of meetings. So we have the 30-minute coaching calls for Facebook and LinkedIn and Google+. A strategy call might be 2 hours, and a Facebook ads meeting might be an hour. And based on what we need our customers to go through, we can create those. And then the calendar, MeetMe will block out our scheduling calendar so no one else can book on top of that. If you're someone who is offering like a strategy session, a 15-minute strategy session, or an hour or whatever, you can use something like MeetMe and open up the time that you're available, and all you have to give your leads or your clients is a link to your calendar, and then they can go and select times that work for them, and then you can confirm the best time that they've selected. So that's also a very handy tool. All right, so then the last thing that I want to just share with you are it's made by Sprout Social, and I reference this a lot just to make sure that I'm always up to date on some of my graphic sizes. Then they keep this completely up to date at all times, and social media dimensions change constantly, especially in Facebook. They change the most, and after Facebook makes a change, Google Plus is usually the next one to make a change. So it's really handy to be able to go here and see the exact dimensions of everything I need without having to go to Google and ask Google who has the most, what's the current size of everything. So I can go to this URL and access Sprout Social's Google Sheets and just see the most up-to-date graphic dimensions.
What's the name of the website again?
So I will just send this through. So basically it's a Google Doc that Sprout Social has online.
So it's on sproutsocial.com site?
I'm sure it is. I've had it bookmarked for so long up here that I don't even remember how I got it. I probably saw it in one of their blog posts.
Okay.
I will put a link to it in the membership site if you just give me about 30 minutes, and I'll put that up there so you
Okay,
can.
cool. Sproutsocial.com. Cool. All right. Any other questions? I think we're good. Yeah. Emily, thank you very, very much for staying up. What time is it? 10 p.m. there?
Yeah, not late.
Okay, good. And guys, just a round of applause for Emily helping us out this week. Excellent. Thank you. And we will talk to you later.
All right, thanks everyone. It's been great.
Bye-bye.